So I quit my job and started to raise money for this documentary.
What did you learn about taking risks? Because, you say quit your job. It's a few words, but it suggests a huge decision.
Exactly. It's a sentence now, but it was like the longest period of my life.
Our social entrepreneurs are people who have been on the front lines of social change. I've learned so much from talking with them. This is Cafe Impact, and I'm Jonathan Lewis.
I'd always wanted to be a nonprofit. All the other stuff was sort of teeing myself up to do that. So I'd done a series of informational interviews, and I talked to executive directors, the job I wanted. And when they talked to me about the challenges of managing groups of people on their teams who came to the mission work that they did with very disparate goals, and they talked about how they were poorly paid, and the people who worked for them were even more poorly paid. They described to me the hardships of raising enough money to be able to cover their nonprofit budgets. I thought, oh my gosh, I don't have any of the skills to do any of those things.
I think there's a lot of young professionals who feel powerless and they don't really think they have the tools or the place to stand to really change the world.
What I tell them is they've just got to dare themselves to take a risk.
I think you can start off being really random because you may not know what the heck you're doing, what you like or what you don't like, but I think relatively quickly on you start learning what you begin to stand for. And you learn relatively quickly what's a non-negotiable, so in other words, what you don't want to do. And I think out of those experiences, you begin to develop your values, your principles by which you want to live life.
So you're running this huge enterprise, $150 million budget, I think you said, and 500 employees. What was the leap that got you to Stanford Social Innovation Review?
Sure. There was the technology collapse in 2001. I was shutting things down and laying people off, and it became a time where it didn't make any sense for my role to exist, so I left. And I spent some time exploring some of my passions. I studied to become a doula and became a certified doula and helped women through pregnancy and childbirth, and I learned Spanish at community college. I found I missed using my media skills, and I was looking at opportunities also in social change organizations, and I just found this position open I found it on Craigslist. So
it was super networking that got you the job.
Because
Craigslist.
Networking is the only way you can get jobs.
What's an early risk for you? Peace Corps?
Peace Corps was a very early risk for me. I was the first one in my family to go to college, and my parents were very proud of it. They both had to work. My mom in a factory, and my dad in the supermarket, and I was their success story. However, on graduation day, they said, are you going to be a doctor? Are you going to be an engineer? You're going to be a businessman? What are you going to, a lawyer? I said, I'm going to join the Peace Corps. And they said, what? I said, Mom, I'm going to be a pioneer. Why do you always have to be the pioneer? Let them do it. Let them come back, and then you go. I said, no, I want to be the first to go.
I guess I want to put a caution to some degree, because acting just kind of like jumping without like flailing, that we don't need any more flailing, right? But I think a purposeful, risky action, I think is what's called for.